Alright guys, if you're watching this video, it means you're trying to get more leads for your business and you've probably got your proof page live and ready to go. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably maybe don't have an idea what a proof page is. Ultimately, it's a landing page built to convert more of the viewers you've got right now into more leads. So I'm primarily going to speak today to the members of Social Proof that have got their Social Proof page ready to launch. And like I said, we've built this page out to be the highest converting page. We've tested absolutely everything, the order of everything, how to have everything from a copywriting perspective, and especially above the fold, the hero section, arguably the most important part of the page, the VSL, the scripting of the VSL, helping you with the 14-pillar framework to build out the ultimate VSL script to convert. All of that now should be done, ready to go, with the sections of proof that follow to increase trust in the viewers. So ultimately, they are going to trust you more and they're going to be confident to at least apply to work with you with your service business online. So instead of just telling you today where you need to now use this URL link and where to put it without any context, I want to give you a little bit of education, because I always believe that if you know the principles behind why things work, you're never going to struggle with your business. Tactics change over time, but principles, the underlying psychological principles especially, never really change, because it's all just to do with human psychology. So that's what I'm going to walk you through very quickly. I'm going to try and keep this video under 10 minutes. So let's roll with it. So if we look at getting leads online, there's the core four, and I'm not stealing this framework. It's very good, and it's from Alex Hormozi, and he's probably one of the best business educators online. But again, everyone quotes Alex Hormozi, but he has generally changed my life as well. So the stuff he talks about, I am going to quote him quite a lot, because I do generally think what he's done is unreal. Anyway, the core four. So these are the 4 ways of getting leads online. So you've got inbound DMs, you've got outbound. So it doesn't just have to be DMs on social media or Instagram. It can be any form. If someone is reaching out to you, think of that as inbound, okay? Which usually is going to be tied into your organic content and your social media presence. Outbound, cold DMs, is the thing that business mentors have pushed on people for ages, to do it in volume, to just hammer people with copy and paste messages. There is a good strategy though to do an outbound cold DM. So you might hate the idea of it, but it is a good strategy. We had massive success with it with PB Academy when we scaled our own online fitness coaching business to over 250 active clients. You've probably heard me say that a few times, but I've got to say it to show the validation we've had in building our own business online. And that was one of the key strategies we genuinely used, and it worked really well because we had a good way of going out there, giving value to people first, solving a small unique problem that we could do at a very low cost, so it didn't cost us much time or effort. They would trust us, and then they would come back in conversation, and we would be able to progress that conversation forward to eventually getting them as clients. Paid advertising, the reason I've circled that in red is because especially most newbies in the online fitness space, or if your business model doesn't allow it to work, online advertising is extremely expensive. I have burned tens of thousands of pounds, especially in the early days, trying to figure this out. And for an online fitness business, if you're actually charging a reasonable price that most people can afford, the mechanics of the business just doesn't make sense. It doesn't allow for it, right? And I'm telling you that as someone that knows, if you're selling to the audience in the UK especially, and most people are on a tight budget, so your coaching program is probably not a good couple of grand, which a lot of mentors push on you, then this might not make sense, okay? So I would encourage you, especially in the early days, don't jump into this first and think, oh, I can just pay money down and I'm going to get clients at a profitable rate. It's very hard to figure out if you don't figure out this stuff first. So use the free channels first. The organic content is something that almost everyone is doing, in all fairness to you. This is the whole reason why you're here, probably, why you've set up Social Proof in the first place. You're posting content consistently. You're doing everything you can. You're getting good views, but it's just not converting into clients. But I'm going to explain why. You already know why, but I'm going to explain why again. The blue line here, right? These are 2 funnels. One is significantly smaller at the bottom, which is your current funnel without a good system in place, a good system in place that is built to convert most of those views eventually into clients. So we obviously want to get as many people into the top of the funnel as we possibly can. Obviously, I understand the logic, and I used to think this myself. When I was desperate for more clients, for consistent leads. I just thought, if I can get more views, if I can get more eyeballs on, if I can go viral, if I can get hundreds of thousands of followers, of course I'm going to have a successful business, right? And this is true for a lot of creators. When they do blow up and they get hundreds of thousands of followers, if it does happen, it is rare, but if it does happen, of course, if you put more into the top, hundreds of thousands more into the top of the funnel, eventually, trickling down, you're going to get way more clients. The maths just makes sense. But if you couple that up, regardless of how many followers and views you've got, with a really good system that's a much bigger funnel, because the conversion rates are much better throughout the funnel, you're going to get way more clients. Like, it could be 10 to 20 times more when you've got the funnel in place compared to this. 97% of people that click the links that have a direct application form. So think about it. From social media, viewing your content, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, and then they go direct to an application form. The facts are the facts, and 97% of people leave after clicking those links. Only 3% of people are ready to buy and trust you enough after consuming enough of your content for long enough of a time horizon. All right? So what steps do we need to put in place? And you're doing this right now with SocialProofPage. It's a landing page built to convert people. So what does it do? And it goes through the customer awareness journey, and that's what we'll talk about now. But the landing page here, if this now converts at 15 to 20%, let's say we have 1,000 people coming to the top, that could be then 200 people going through and applying. Whereas if you have the same 1,000 people going direct to an application form, now all of a sudden you've got 970 people leaving and you only get 30 applications. So it's a comparison of between 30 applications to 200 applications potentially. Those are on like the extremes of both sides of the section, right? But of the spectrum. But that shows the difference that a properly structured funnel, and this isn't complex, this isn't rocket science, this is very basic, and just with having a social proof page put in place, we know the facts and the figures, and this is the difference it has. It can maybe 3, 4, 5 times your lead flow from the same number of viewers coming into the top. So I know you're probably sitting there thinking, now, right, okay, where do I put it? What am I meant to do with this page? I've put the page together, I'm ready to launch it. Where does it go, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. But last thing I want to explain is the customer awareness journey. So there are 5 stages of the customer awareness journey. This is very well known in the marketing space. So I'm going to walk you through them. We've got problem unaware. We've got problem aware. We've got solution unaware, solution aware, and then we've got product aware. So that sounds like a lot of fancy terms. I'm going to break it down real quick. So you're completely on board. You understand the principles, right? Problem unaware. I'm going to give you an analogy. It's like the pain that you're feeling, but you go to the doctor because you don't know what the problem is, okay? So let's say you've got symptoms. The symptoms of the problem. And this applies to your coaching business, to your fitness coaching business. People may think, I'll just give the doctor analogy. You might think that, right, okay, I've got a headache. I don't know what's going on. I know the symptom is that I've got the headache, so I go to the doctor, right? That's problem unaware, but you know you've got the pain points. The next stage then is problem aware. You might be convinced that you've just got a headache problem, but let's say it's actually I've got a strain in my muscle in my neck, and that's what's causing the referred pain to my head, and that's what's causing the headache. I'm making this up completely, but I would be convinced that it's my head that's the problem because of where the symptom is. But when you give them that education and the doctor tells you, no, we've done the scans, this is what's causing the problem, so now you're problem aware. Then when you go down to solution unaware, now it's like, right, well, maybe there's 3 options of how we fix this. Do we operate on it? Does it require an operation? Do I need to just go for a massage therapy? Do I need exercises to help me solve this? You're unaware of what the right solution is, right? But then you get educated after looking at, or maybe speaking to certain consultants, and they will tell you, right, in this specific case, this is the type of solution you need. You need to go to surgery for this. Worst case scenario, right? Wherever this problem is. So now you know, right, I'm solution aware. Now, where do I go for surgery? Right? This is product aware. Where do I go for surgery? Do I go and use the NHS? Do I go private? Do I go to this, surgeon in the US that's well known for sorting this problem out? These are different products / services that you're looking for to pick the right one. And this is the customer awareness journey that applies to anything, absolutely anything, especially a service business. So the reason I'm just educating you on that is because the reason we built SocialProofPage is because we wanted to be able to send someone one link where when they consume the information that's on that link, especially the hero section, so when they consume the target audience call out, the offer, the without section, the pattern interrupt, the VSL, the script that goes through the 14 pillars we talked about of the psychological pillars we need to knock through as a checklist and cover everything. the offer summary, and then the sections of social proof, just to increase trust that you've helped other people like them. It is meant and designed to take them through this full stage of customer awareness. Now, if you don't know this, and it doesn't come as second nature to you, or you haven't got like a degree in marketing, or you haven't obsessed over marketing, it's very hard to do that with your organic content unless you really know what you're doing. So I know you might be posting consistently and doing everything you can and copying, the other good coaches, and there's no problem with doing that. You look up to people that are doing well in your space and you try to mimic what they're doing, but they might be succeeding for different reasons that doesn't make sense to you immediately. So that's why we put together this page. So now you know why this page is so important, because it literally just basically is a fast pass to them getting to this stage of understanding exactly what you do and why they should work with you. And now you've related to their pain points and problems. You've educated them a little bit more on the specific problems they've got. Then you've talked about the other solutions that might be out there. Then you've talked about why your solution is the right solution, or not necessarily yours, but the service you provide. Then you talk about the specifics of your service and why they should work with you. That's what we're doing with this page, all in one go, one link. You send it to them, boom, done. Like, it is that's why we built it. So this works in any of the channels, right? But for most of you, it's probably going to be organic content. So where do you actually use this in organic content? Now, the obvious one you're going to shout out straight away. Do I do it in blue or red? I think red will stand out here. So your bio link, okay? And if you want to have multiple links in there, for whatever reason, you might have other links that you think is really important. I'm telling you now, if it is like a Calendly booking link or an application form as well, that doesn't make sense, because it's like basically putting the application form up here at the top of the funnel, when really we need the social proof page, and then the link inside this page is to that application form or to that Calendly booking link. So if those links are competing, that's not a good thing. But if you've got other links, whether it's like associations you've got with other brands, discount codes, stuff like that, I understand you might need a link tree, or you might need the multiple links feature in your Instagram to use other links, but have it in the bio link as an option at least. And I would usually don't just say like social proof page or anything like that. Say interested in working with me, or want to find out more about our coaching or our services. Have it like that, so it intrigues them with the headline, they go through, and then the page comes up and solves the rest of the problems. That's the first thing. The other thing that you've got as a feature is stories. Okay, stories is a great one, because we've already called it out and spoke to you about this. With when you're posting client wins on your stories, when you're posting results on your stories, when you're talking about coaching in general on your stories, or you put up that you've got coaching spaces available, that's the perfect time to use this link. So you link it in your story, you use the Instagram feature to link it into your story, and they can click the link and they can instantly go to that page and find out way more information about you. So again, it's a much easier ask for someone to click a link than it even is for them to like your story or DM you to find out more information. Starting conversations these days, and this is 2026, it's going to get worse. The trust online is so low that people don't want to commit to that at all. Even putting polls up on your story, people see it as a hard ask, because they know from all the other mentors and businesses out there trying to get their attention, they know if they interact with anything, they're going to get a message really quick, and that business wants them to fast forward into working with them. So people really hold back from interacting at all anymore. That's why you don't get as many likes. People just don't interact because they know they're going to get chased, basically. So they wait until they're at the end. And if you want people to wait until they're at the end where they're ready to buy, it takes months. It takes so much time. Google released the study, the 7-11-4 rule, which is when people need to consume 7 hours of content over 11 different touch points in 4 different locations. What that means is they need to consume loads of time with you. So if you think of it, if you divide 60 seconds, which is your reels, by 7 hours, how many posts are they going to need to see to trust you, right? That's what you're banking on, basically. The 11 different touch points is basically how many different pieces of content they need to see on average. And then the 4 is the 4 different locations. So whether it's like reading an email, whether it's like popping up on your phone during work, or whether it's they sit down and watch a YouTube video, like different stuff like that. Different ways of consuming content from you. So I know I'm speaking 100 miles an hour, but it's because I'm passionate about it. But anyway, stories is a great option. So again, I would use the links as a softer ask than just asking someone to DM or to like your story or to vote on a poll if they're interested, if they're trying to cut down, whatever it is. Stories are a great ask. And then those are the two main ones, genuinely. But then if you're thinking about other channels, so if you're doing, let's say you're doing cold outbound, right? And you're doing cold outreach. And I think you should do it. It's a great strategy to do it in small amounts and be genuinely personable with the people you reach out to, not just doing copy and paste message, 100 messages a day. It's a great way to ruin your account and your reputation. Genuinely just follow people, interact with people that you think are your ideal clients, and be a normal person as if you're greeting them on the street. We've got other videos about this. I'm not going to go into depth about it. But very early on in the conversation, a great way to get them up to speed instead of trying to dive straight away into, an in-depth conversation about their problems and everything like that, is sending them this link. Because once you send them this link, once you've got to the stage of, obviously not straight away, you don't want to send them this link straight away, you want to have a little bit of a conversation first, and once it gets to the point where they're interested in potentially learning more about what you do, that's when you send them the link. So cold DMs, or DMs in general, even if it's coming through inbound DMs, when they come in through inbound DMs and they are interested in working with you, they are much warmer leads, of course, because they've reached out to you. But a great way to instantly take them through this full journey without you having to explain to every single individual one-to-one is by sending them this link. They spend a bit of time with you, watching your VSL. They spend more time with you, watching you, consuming your content. But this time it's a lot more personable and it's a lot more about the service because it's not on the social media feed. Now they've taken the time to just watch you for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, maybe longer, right? They're going to pay way more attention by doing that on that page. Whereas when you're on Instagram, they're going to scroll after a couple of seconds. How rare is it that someone watches a full video on Instagram? It's crazy. So that's another one. In the DMs, on your stories, bio link, paid advertising. If you are running ads, this is a great landing page that you can use as a link. We've got some gym members that are doing it right now, and they're finding they are converting better compared to the landing pages they had set up, completely designed for the advertising that they had. So again, we've tested everything and we've built this page to convert really highly, and that's why it is performing well. So again, you can link it into your paid ads. When it says learn more, you can just direct them to this URL link and set that up. The free content, lots of different ways of doing this. If you use ManyChat, and really you should only be using ManyChat in my opinion if you do have a pretty decent following already, so you need to automate that part. If not, be personal. Every time someone does, like let's say if you're not sure what ManyChat is, it's an automation in Instagram or different social medias where if someone comments a keyword, it automatically then starts a conversation with them and sends them the link or the information they've asked for. Me personally, if you haven't got a massive following, I would do this manually anyway and send a voice note. Be personal. Send them a voice note if they're interested in working with you, and send them this link. It's another great way to just send them this link. If you have got a big following, like I said, set it up as a ManyChat automation, and it can be specifically under the word coach or anything like that. Like if they're interested in working with you, you could say DM me the word or comment the word coach, and that can be a specific ManyChat automation that then would send them this link, and then they can directly apply with you or directly book a call with you. So that's where to use these links. I hope that answers the question. It can be used through any of the lead generation channels because this is what it's built for, is lead generation. But yeah, I hope you've learned something from this video anyway. And as always, I want to make sure that every single person that uses Social Proof is going to get results from this, has a great experience, and has great support throughout the process as well. So you should already have my contact information. You should already have my help and have spoke to me. But if there's anything you're unsure about, any help you want with promoting and launching this Social Proof page to get more leads for your business, let me know. And yeah, there'll be a link below for the trial if you haven't heard or know what Social Proof is and you want to find out more. But yeah, I wish you the best with it. Let's get some solid results with this, and yeah, let's build a good reputation together for both our businesses, and I'll speak to you soon.